Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are Roger Bonds, you are giving us a preview of what you're going to be telling the feds, or given who you believe, what you're already telling the feds, y'all. What am I talking about? If you guys don't know, Roger Bonds has come out and basically told a story about the day he saw Cassie fight back, and Diddy was not prepared for this. On top of this, Roger Bonds, now that the feds have gotten involved, baby, he ain't afraid of what Diddy and his slimes are going to do to him. He said the ish is sickening, but thank you. I just received confirmation of another victim. This one I actually know. He says, when what's in the dark eventually comes to light, I personally apologize for not being there. My word is my bond. Now, people are saying that there is another victim coming forward, but this time, again, of course, he saw Cassie, he saw Kim, he saw all this. This time it is actually a woman he knows. People are speculating that this is somebody he is actually related to. And when he says, I personally apologize for not being there, again, his words do lead some credibility to that. It does lead some credibility to that. However, there is a thing where basically Roger Bonds is also saying that he recalls the day that Cassie fought back and Diddy was not ready for this. Y'all, let's get into this mess. Let's get into this because, on top of that, do you know that Roger Bonds is saying that Diddy allegedly told Cassie's father, "This is my daughter now"? Diddy got a problem. They're saying Roger Bond has made more claims about Diddy and Cassie's relationship. The first thing, Diddy once allegedly told Cassie's father that she was his daughter now and made her call him Pop Pop. The Bad Boys mogul's former security guard, Roger Bond, said during an interview with DJ Blad. He also continued to disclose details about the allegedly toxic and abusive relationship in interviews since Cassie first filed her lawsuit against Diddy. At one point during the interview, he claimed that Diddy demanded Cassie refer to him as Pop Pop after learning that was the nickname she used for her father. He continued, she would say it over the PA system and everything else, Pop Pop. And then he got off on that. I believe one time he was on the phone with her father and said, "This is my daughter now. She calls me Pop Pop. She calls me Dad." He also recalled Diddy helping out Cassie's family financially. He also said he clarified previous comments that he made about the abuse in the relationship going both ways. He claimed that while Cassie would hit Diddy, and this is how I know Diddy don't want Roger Bonds on that stand, because Roger Bonds, F Brandon, we got Roger Bonds, right? He's saying that while Cassie would hit Diddy, it was only ever in retaliation for the abuse he committed first. Even then, she allegedly only fought back several years into the relationship. Okay. Um, Listen, his comments come after CNN published the security camera footage of the incident when Roger Bonds was like, "Yo, that hurt me to my core." Now, again, he said, his words were actually seeing her fight back. Okay. Says Cassie once, just once, rightfully punched the rap mogul to defend herself. This incident, I just want to go over this because it's really interesting to me. He recalled an incident when the couple were in the middle of an intense argument in the car. Roger alleged that Cassie eventually punched Diddy. He also recalled the window being open and people even starting to recognize the couple as they were fighting. He said, "In my mind, I was happy because I actually seen her fight back, and I'm in my mind, I was happy." Now, this is in direct hold on, there's one other thing. This particular incident allegedly took place in an Escalade. According to Cassie, Puff allegedly started to assault her and forced her out the car, after which she had to take a cab back to her own apartment in Manhattan. She allegedly came home crying and stayed for 3 days in her apartment. Roger said he stated he knew about the incident but wasn't there at the time. When the couple went to New York, another bodyguard named Paulie took over for Roger. However, he was present for another similar incident. The former bodyguard detailed they were seen driving in a Cadillac, and Diddy and Cassie were fighting. As per Bonds, he initially had to break them up and seat Diddy in front and Cassie in the back seat. He then said, and I was like, yo, y'all can't be acting up like this, man. And then Cassie had punched him in the face, rightfully. She punched him in the face and they started fighting. He had the windows down, so he recalled people starting to pull up to the scene and recognizing the distraught couple, and he desperately tried to roll the window up. Now, he did say he felt happy at the time due to seeing that Cassie finally stood up for herself. Later in the interview, he claimed that she was wearing a monkey ring when she punched Diddy. And when they finally got to their Beverly Hills house, he was able to pull them both of them out and started walking Diddy back home. He said, I started walking Diddy up the hill, and then Cassie ran behind me and she kicked him. You know what I'm saying? And when he went to chase her, I grabbed him again and was able to stop it. So these are the things that people don't talk about. I was able to stop it at that time. And then later on, they went into the house. It was almost like they would stay in the room for 2 or 3 days at a time, doing nothing but getting high. And then when they came out the room, it was like a person, right? It was like a different person. He remembered her changing into a completely different person whenever she came out the room with Diddy. He thought Cassie was at the point where she was just terrified. Again, I'm glad Roger Bonds is actually coming out and speaking on this and actually telling the truth about what happened and not covering up for Diddy anymore. And as much as people want to have criticism for that federal raid, I do believe that federal raid actually gave not Roger the courage necessarily, but definitely the foundation that Diddy can't do none of his allegedly grimy things, because Diddy does maintain his innocence. He says this is all lies and propaganda. But there have been people that said Diddy got ways to make people be quiet. Diddy got ways to silence people. And you would think that now that Diddy has all these ways, right? Now that the feds are watching him, now that they've expanded the operation past Schmeck's racketing, past the RICO, but into money laundering, into RICO acts, into illegal bang bangs, into all this stuff, Diddy can't get his money the way he used to. And I think it's actually starting to affect this pocket, but it's also making it a good way, because now that Roger Bonds allegedly is going to testify for the prosecution, Cassie's going to be a star witness. There's all these people backing things up. Diddy can't intimidate and bully the way people have said that he does. Now, we will see once the indictment comes out actually what is true, what the government is pressing, and what Diddy has to. But almost every legal person I talk to says, baby, ain't nothing nice. And Diddy should be very, very worried. Again, what do we have here? Roger Bonds is going up for Cassie. It sounds like he is testifying for the prosecution. On top of that, Roger Bonds is now apologizing to someone that he knew very closely and very personally, saying he didn't know, his word is his bond, and he apologizes for not being there to protect him. Baby, I am waiting. I hope whoever this is actually does sue and get some justice. I hope they sue and get some justice, and I will be the first to invite them on to have a platform. I know I was very critical of Roger Bond in the beginning because it seemed like he was playing games. But now that we know more about Diddy and the way he operates, maybe Roger Bonds actually was in trouble. Maybe he did know that Diddy would do something to him. Let's not forget he was the head of security at one time. So he saw like all the stuff that Diddy was either into or had people do. Had people know. And maybe that's why he was like changing the story, saying I have daughters, and the third. Regardless, it don't matter. It seems like he's on the right team now. And thank God people are coming out to speak their truth. I'm just waiting for Diddy's high profile friends that actually come out and speak the truth, what they gonna say. But everybody's sitting there on mute. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.